So you're thinking about moving to Jacksonville, Florida? Well, grab your popcorn because in today's video, I'm gonna be covering the top 7 areas in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville is super spread out, so you don't wanna end up in the wrong area. Depending on whatever your needs are, you just don't wanna be in the wrong place. If you want to know everything about living in Jacksonville, Florida and surrounding areas, hit that subscribe button so you can be the first to know about the current Jacksonville market. My name is Yasha, your favorite Jacksonville realtor. If you have any questions, feel free to call, text, or email me, or schedule an in-person Zoom meeting with me. All of my contact information is below in the description. So let's jump right into it. Let's cover these 7 areas in Jacksonville. Coming in at number 7, we have Jacksonville Beach for the best places to live here in Jacksonville, Florida. So as we take a look at Jacksonville Beach as an overall area, the overall grade is an A+, with public schools being an A-, housing A-, good for families an A, crime and safety was not rated, nightlife A-, and diversity a B-. Right now, the population is about right over 16,000, and in regards to real estate, the median home value for the area is $436,992, and then the median rent is roughly around $1,900, and the majority of people in the area are renting at 81% versus renting at 19%. And here we're going to take a deeper look into the area. So what you'll find in Jacksonville, and especially out at the beach, you won't really know when you're in the next beach area. So like, for example, this is the line that divides Jacksonville from Neptune, and then Jacksonville Beach from Ponte Vedra Beach. So they do have like signs that are near the beach that will tell you, like if you're riding along some of the roads over here, you'll know that you're going into like the next part of the beaches, but mostly and overall, this is Jacksonville Beach. So just a few things that I want to point out. Here is basically Beach Boulevard where the main traffic is coming. We do have a lot of things going on here now. For example, they do have a new hotel here, or newer hotel. We have the re-established Jacksonville Beach Pier, the Adventure Landing. It's closed today, it looks like, but what's really great is that it's like a mini water park for kids in the area to be able to enjoy the outdoors during the summertime. And also they have arcade games, go-kart rides, and just a lot of other fun activities for you to do with your kids during the summertime, especially since it's so hot. But what I really want to point out is also this is actually going to be closing down, hopefully, and they'll be putting up a new apartment complex here, but it has been delayed several times, so I don't really know when this is going to get done for sure. But there are a lot of other apartments and just remodeled buildings right over here. And what really connects or makes this, dotted area, Jacksonville Beach, it is the Intracoastal. And the Intracoastal Bridge right here is really nice. I see a lot of people always either walking, running, or riding their bike over here because it is very steep and you will have to have a lot of endurance to get up over that hill. But once you come right over, you'll see Adventure Landing. There's also a lot of different boat clubs along this area that are mostly like right in this area, but then there's also this Mavi Waterfront Bar and Grill, a Taco Lou. There's just tons of little hidden gems in regards to like restaurants and things like that. And then we have like a Publix that comes up and things like that. And then there's the Beaches Museum, which is also nice. And as we go further out here, there's just a lot of restaurants actually along this area and residential homes. And then there's also a lot of just accesses to the beach. So that's also really nice as well. This is one of my favorite places to go out to eat at the beach, which is Jacksonville Beach Brunch House. I love eating there. There's a Starbucks here. You can't knock Starbucks, but just a lot of condominiums here and residential homes and just things to do, especially along First Street. A lot of restaurants and bars. A lot of the nightlife at the beach happens, here off of First Street. Like they have Surfer Bar, that's also out here as well. So just lots of things to do and explore out of the beach. My family and I, we like to actually ride our bikes out at the beach, which is always fun. We commute into the area and we like park nearby like the Publix, and we bring our trailer or like my husband's truck, and then we just ride our bikes down out here, and then we'll ride either on the actual beach or just like along First Street and kind of go and look at the different homes and just different things that are happening in the area. There is also the Jacksonville Beach Golf Club and a Baptist Medical Center here. And then down here, you'll pass a little bit of like another big shopping plaza area, which is like right in this area where you'll be going into like the Ponte Vedra area, and you'll already pretty much be on Ponte Vedra or have Ponte Vedra Boulevard kind of considered Jacksonville Beach here. But then you'll really be in Ponte Vedra as you head further south after you pass the Target. There's a really good yoga studio in this area also. And then there's just multiple access points for the beach. So we have Atlantic Boulevard that will run into Atlantic, and then Neptune, and then of course Jacksonville Beach. Oh, and I can't forget Casa Marina weddings happen here. There's a really good happy hour here also. If you ever are in town, definitely check that out. And then Beach Boulevard's here, and then we have Mayo Clinic not too far from the area, and then we have JTB, which is another big highway that connects you to get to the beach. So you have multiple ways to get out there. And it's really not far from a lot of the other places in Jacksonville. So just keep that in mind as well. That you don't have to live out at the beach for you to really have a great experience or to go to the beach. Because like I mentioned, my family and I, we commute, and it's really only like 30 minutes. Really, like if you get out there early, you'll want to, get up early and get out there early to definitely find parking. Because that's always like a big thing. You'll just be kind of driving along 3rd Street or 1st Street to find parking along areas. And don't park in an area you're not supposed to, because you definitely will get towed. Moving on to the housing in the area. So there's a lot for sale. I mean, who wouldn't want to be out at the beach? And definitely based on like niche.com, I can kind of say like the average price for the homes in this area are definitely a lot higher than $400,000. I mean, of course, that's like the median price, but you'll definitely see more homes in, the upper, like you'll be approaching almost the $1 million mark, most likely. I'm surprised that there's, $2,000 rentals in the area, or a little over $2,000 rentals in the area. But just keep in mind, like the homes in this area are going to be a lot, like you won't get a lot of yard space most likely. And if you do, you're really lucky, or most likely you're going to be like in a lot of the condos or some of the townhomes that are in the area. But you can't beat those amazing ocean views. I can definitely say that, because whenever I go show properties in the area, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so just beautiful and amazing. So just keep in mind, the pros and cons of living out at the beach, and especially Jacksonville Beach. Like, yard space. You may not have a lot of parking in your driveway, just depending on the lot size or what type of home you decide to move to in the area. So just keep that in mind. And it looks like a lot of them, or actually all of them, are pretty much spread out here. You'll have oceanfront, and then you have some that you may have to commute to a little bit more to get out to the beach. But nothing's, you gotta have a bike or like a golf cart if you do live out at the beach. So you can just see some of the homes on this side. A lot of, like I mentioned, condos that are in the area. Look at the rent on this one, but I'm sure you have an amazing view. You can just take a look at these. So yeah, a lot of condos, townhomes, and single family homes, but of course that will dictate like your proximity to the beach, and if that's something that's super important to you. $10,000 a month for rent. Amazing. All right. And that wraps up Jacksonville Beach. Moving into number 6 for best places to live here in Jacksonville, Florida, we have the Avondale area. So let's take a closer look at that. So Avondale overall has an A+ for the grade, B- for public schools, A- for housing, A for good for families, nightlife A-, and B for diversity. We have a population of over 6,000 people in this area. The median home value is roughly around $397,983. The median rent is roughly around $1,300, and the own versus rent ratio is about 72% for owners, and 28% for renters. Now let's dive deeper into what is actually in Avondale. So one thing I do want to point out is that Riverside will creep into Avondale and like Murray Hill. So sometimes, like I said, like everything is just like blended in together, but you will know that you're in Avondale right here based on being south or on the other side of I-10, and also just off of one of these side streets here or main highways. And then it's a very small like outline here. As you can see, like Park Street, and then you'll like run into Blanding, and then Park Street is also coming from like the Riverside, Five Points area. So it just all runs together. But one place we like to go to is Iguana on Park is really nice for dining. Biscotti's is also another favorite restaurant. This is also a very nice playground to go to when it's not scorching hot outside. And of course, as you get closer to the water, you'll be able to see the St. Johns River. Some other things to just keep in mind is in this area, it is a little bit below sea level. So like when we do have hurricanes, this area tends to have a lot of storm surges where it may flood in some parts. There's not really a great drainage system in the area, so just keep that in mind. But it's also just a good place to go to when you are looking at like dining or just doing something different outside of where you currently live in your area in Jacksonville. But as you can see, also just close proximity to get to a lot of the main highways like I-10 and then 17. So it's really convenient, but they also have a different style of home here, which I would say is a lot older. You're going to want to, once you like start going into the inspection process for your home, I would highly recommend to find someone that specializes with in older homes, not just like your general home inspection or inspector. You want to find someone that actually specializes in this. But yes, Biscotti's and also Southern Grounds is a favorite of mine to go for a coffee shop. They really have really great food here also. But my family and I, like I mentioned, are everywhere. We like not just staying in our part of town, but we love going to explore different areas and trying different restaurants and just experiencing different things. So moving on to the homes for sale in the area, as you can see, definitely like as you get closer to, again, the water, you're going to be encroaching over that $1 million mark, but you can find some if you, just depending also on like the square footage of the home and location and just all of those things, because Park Street is like the main drag. And like I mentioned, it goes into or runs into Blanding, or you can get onto Blanding or Roosevelt Boulevard, and that will also take you out to NAS Jax as well, or it will take you, Roosevelt can take you down towards downtown. So yes, so these homes and rentals are, ranging, like I see some that are for $1,000 a month, but you're going to be getting a 1-bed, 1-bath. And then for $12K a month, you're going to get a 4-bedroom, 3-bath and over 3,600 square feet. So, and then in regards to a home, you're going to get a 4-bed, 5-bath, 4,200 square feet home. So just a ton of range in regards to the style of home. Sorry, I got Georgia MLS encroaching on us here. Yeah, so you can see the style of home. You're definitely going to get a lot more yard, but it's just more unique, and the homes have a lot more character in the area, I would say. And sorry about all of these popping up from Georgia. So I am also licensed in the state of Georgia. But yes, beautiful homes here, very historic and just have a lot of character, but you'll just want to be mindful and decide if you decide, want to live in this area. Do you want to live in an area that may have potential flooding or like the storm surges, that will happen during the hurricanes? Coming hot at number 5, we have the Fruit Cove area here in Jacksonville, Florida. So let's dive deeper into all of this. So Fruit Cove overall has an A+ grade, A+ for public schools, A- for housing, A+ good for families, B- for nightlife, and B+ for diversity, with a population of right over 34,000. The median home value is roughly around 350,000. Median rent is also around 1,900 a month. And then the proximity in regards to owners and renters is 84% for owners and 16% for renters. So Fruit Cove is really like a part of also Julington Creek, but you're really out this way, like towards the water by Old Bull Bay. And Racetrack Road is also kind of like the main drag here in Fruit Cove, or to get into this area. And then we have like even Julington Creek here right next door, but just a lot of newer developments and new construction in this part of Jacksonville. So, and then also older homes. I would say you would find a lot more like brick style homes, and also larger lots as well, which is a plus, because just depending on where you're coming from, if you're, wanting to go more suburban, this is a nice area to be or to live in, period. We also have the Julington Creek Golf Club and Julington Creek Plantation in the area. Churches, we are the Bible Belt, or part of the Bible Belt. And then this goes out into Switzerland. It is really suburban and rural out here. Like, you are just surrounded by a lot more trees. I love the mature trees also in the area, which is really nice as well. And then another main drag here is Roberts Road. Has a lot of beautiful homes along this area. And like I mentioned, out towards the water for sure. But this is the basically subdivider here where you see the red dotted lines for Fruit Cove, or what would be considered Fruit Cove. You have a main Publix here. That's always nice. That's usually like our main grocery store here in Jacksonville. Dollar Tree, Pinch a Penny for pools, just all kinds of different shops and plazas. A lot of hidden gems in this area, but beautiful homes most importantly, and just mature trees. I love this area and part of Jacksonville. Moving on to the homes in the area. So we have a little bit of a range when it comes to Fruit Cove. Again, anything near the water, you're definitely going to be looking at that $1 million plus mark, and then a mix depending on like what's available. So there may be like a condo or townhome available in this area, and then again, just beautiful homes. Larger homes with larger lot sizes, but you may have to renovate them a lot more. But exterior and just landscaping wise, amazing. And you would be considered to be in like the St. John's area if you do decide to live here. But you can definitely get more bang for your buck. As you can see, if you live in this part of town as well, I mean, look, you're getting a 5-bed, 4-bath and over 5,000 square feet heated and cooled. Like, that's not including the garage or anything else. Like, that's amazing. There are HOA fees most likely in this area, part of town as well. This is $300 a month, which I'm sure is very nice because, you want everyone to maintain their their lawn and exterior, especially if you're living near the water. Everyone wants to look at beautiful homes. That is Fruit Cove. And then again, Julington Creek Golf Club, Plantation Park, just so much available in this area from rent to homes for sale. Coming in at number 3, we have the Fleming Island area for best places to live here in Jacksonville, Florida, according to niche.com. Let's jump right in. A+ overall, A+ for public schools, A- for housing, A+ for good for families, B for nightlife, and B+ for diversity. There's a population and it's mostly suburban, but the population is around 29,000. And then the median home values right over $292,000 with the median rent of over $1,600 a month. And then owners versus tenants, we have about 86% owners in the area versus people who are renting at 14%. And let's dive deeper into Fleming Island. So Fleming Island is right here. It's very, very small in regards to just land mass. But like I mentioned, Jacksonville has so many different parts to it that you'll just really have to take some time to consider on where you'd like to live. But Fleming Island is here where I have the red dotted outline. There's a local high school, library. We have Baptist Medical Center, lots of restaurants, things to do, YMCA. They have a Fleming Island Plantation Splash Park, which is nice. They have another Fleming Island Plantation Amenity Center, stuff for your pets, churches, different restaurants. So 17 is running you south, and then you have 220 that will also run out here going towards the main highway, which is coming off of 295 and then like Oakleaf out that way, and then you'll run out into Middleburg. But so you're kind of still in town, but look how close you are to like Switzerland and like Fruit Cove, like right across the water, right across the St. John's River. This is also a really fun place to go boating. Doctor's Lake, also the St. John's River as well. And then Black Creek is also really fun as well to go boating and do fishing. There's Whitty's Fish Camp also right here. And you got to have a Walmart wherever you go, and just a lot of dining and restaurants in the area. And they have a movie theater that's also local, which is nice as well. So, and then of course, Publix. So that is Fleming Island. Let's take a look at the homes for sale. It looks like they have a ton of homes for sale right now, but it's in such a tight proximity, a lot of variety. There's even one for $3.9 million for sale. And again, that price per square foot is amazing. You just get a lot more bang for your buck out here. Well, as long as you're not living out towards the beach, you just get a lot of yard and a lot more home. But you have to decide what's more important to you. But you can still have water views. They may not be oceanfront views, but they could definitely be, riverfront views. There's also the Eagle Harbor Golf Club here. A lot more golf clubs. So you have the Eagle Harbor Golf Club. You have the golf club at Fleming Island. And there's Black Creek Park and another park here as well, but just a lot in regards to what is available. And if you decide, do you want to live in this area? So you could see all of the beautiful homes. You'll have a higher population of residential homes here, single family. You may have some townhomes, but predominantly single family homes in this area. And that is Fleming Island.
Palm Valley is coming in at number 3. So let's dive in to Palm Valley. So overall, it has an A+ rating, A+ public schools, B housing, A+ good for families, B nightlife, and B- for diversity. There is a population of about over 20,000 individuals, and the median home value is at $507,000, and the median rent is right over $1,500. And then the comparison from ownership to rent is at 79% with owners, and then 21% of people are renting in the area. So Palm Valley is this area between Butler Boulevard and kind of like the A1A North. So with that being said, but it doesn't include the Ponte Vedra Beach area, because this is Ponte Vedra Beach, but this is where Palm Valley is. It's just kind of like not as close to the beach, but you do also have really great homes here along Roscoe Boulevard and Solano Road. I was actually just here the other day, well actually yesterday, for hot yoga. So it was actually a lot of fun. So definitely check out Titanium Yoga if you're in the area. Like I mentioned, Solano Road, Roscoe Boulevard, there is TPC Sawgrass. That's where the players come every year, and traffic is crazy. So be forewarned that if you do live in this area or plan to move to this area, that the traffic every year is going to be very, very heavy. And because these are some of like this is A1A South and North is pretty much like the main road in this area. So you'll just want to, plan for that. Or plan to either leave super early and go home super late, or just not to be home. I have a friend that lives out in this area, and during this time when they were doing, the players event, that she just took a vacation, so she wasn't home because traffic's gonna be crazy, everything's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be so many, people from other places visiting and just crowding up the roads. Let's actually dive deeper into this area. So like I mentioned, we have TPC Sawgrass, so we're definitely for sure going to be in the $1 million range. We do have a lot of single family homes, but there are a lot of condos also in this area, and they would be a little bit closer to the highway area. And then of course we do have rentals in the area around 4,500 for a 2,400 square feet home, 3-bed, 2-bath. So like I mentioned, a lot higher price point for any of you that are looking to relocate to one of the top places here in the Jacksonville Jacksonville and surrounding areas. Yep, Palm Valley. But driving down A1A, like once you start going towards St. Augustine, is really, really nice. Like the views are really nice, and you get to see a lot of unique homes along A1A. So also here, another big community is the plantation at Ponte Vedra. That's a really nice community as well. And then looks like there are some fields here. And then you will also, when you're living in this area, you'll have to see what if your neighborhood, if you move into a neighborhood, if there is, you know, granted beach access. So like even if you live on this side, like is there direct beach access for you and your family to have access to get to the beach? Like you don't have to go like up to Jack's Beach. You should have direct access, but you may have like a specific entry point to get to the beach. And sometimes in some of the communities also along here, they do have, like one I went to had a clubhouse, but it was just on the other side of the road from the community, but you could like ride your golf cart or ride your bike or something like that, or walk. So you'll just want to find out those specific details when you're moving to this area. Coming in at number 2 is the Deer Creek area. So let's dive in. So Deer Creek is right now rated at an A+ overall. There are B+ public schools, A housing, A+ good for families, B nightlife, and A+ for diversity. And there is a lot of fine dining in this area, or at least hidden gems that I like. But in Deer Creek, there is a population of right under 6,000. The median home value is $373,000, and the median rent is right over $1,100. And the number or percent of ownership or homeowners in the area is at 66%, with 34% being 34% renters in the area. So let's dive in. Deer Creek is really considered to be this area. So from Deer Creek Club, part of E-Town, and then a little bit further south on Phillips Highway and right past 295, and then a part of Southside Boulevard. So there is Deer Creek Country Club that is here, and there is not a lot of neighborhoods for Deer Creek per se, based on this outline. E-Town is a newer community, a newer development. They're supposed to be like energy efficient. They have a welcome center. They have a mix of, townhomes and single family homes. They do also have a 55 and up community as well. So that's something to just keep in mind. We do have those here in Florida, but just smaller subsets of different communities. So there's a lot of businesses that I would say that are located more so in this area. This also leads kind of like into Nocatee and just going further south in like the Bartram, that area. And there's Old St. Augustine Road. But what's nice is you have 9B, you have 95 north or south right here, and then you're right by 295. So I feel like all of the areas in Jacksonville, mostly, unless you're like way out in the boonies, is like you're going to have direct access to the highways. It might take you maybe 10-15 minutes depending on just where you live. But that, I would say this area has a lot more businesses and more single family homes. But you see, I feel like they're grouping this, or Deer Creek, like they mixed it with like this side of 295 and then part of E-Town. So E-Town goes all the way back here. So they're not accounting for this part of E-Town to be a part. And then if we just go up, like this is like a really big condo community. And there's a lot of those in addition to apartments in this area. So Southside Boulevard runs into Phillips Highway. There is also the Avenues Mall. That's probably one of the last indoor malls that we really have that are, decent. Most of our shopping here in Jacksonville is predominantly like outdoor shopping, and we have the St. John's Town Center, which is never ending with growing and just changes. But you have Deer Creek Country Club, and that I feel is not even including the whole entire country club. Yeah, no, it is. It is. So a lot of older homes, but higher priced homes. in the area. And that's why I was saying, sorry, I just had to look because I was like, Deer Creek is basically not including like Bay Meadows. So Bay Meadows is here. This is a very heavily trafficked area, but I would have thought that they, you know, in regards to area, they would have included Deerwood, which is another kind of, it's a gated HOA community and a lot of older homes in the area. But like I said, there's a lot of apartments along Southside Boulevard, and then it goes into like condos and then like more businesses in the area, like bigger businesses and like more like parkways where you have like a big building with just like smaller building, you know, smaller offices located in this big building. So I did also want to cover the Deer Creek homes available in this area. So you can see there's not a lot currently for sale in the Deer Creek Club community or just this area in regards to top places for Jacksonville. So there's one house at $325,000. It's almost half an acre. So that's actually really great for being more centrally located in Jacksonville. But predominantly where you're going to see a lot of the housing in this area is going to be here in the E-Town community. And like I mentioned, this is a newer community. It's supposed to be very family friendly. A lot of the communities will have gated access. There is a nice amenity center where they do like yoga and all that stuff, type of things in the area. Nice community welcome center that you can rent out and book space at. But like I said, these are going to be newer homes. Right now, a lot of the builders are still offering incentives. They're trying to push for, you know, the upcoming quarters. So, let me know if you need any help. Again, all my contact information is in the description below. Feel free to book a Zoom call, or you can also text or email me if you have any additional questions about the area. But I just put under contract a listing that I had in this area, and it was actually located in Nobel at E-Town. So like I mentioned, there also is a new Publix that opened up maybe a couple months back, but E-Town is still growing and developing. So there may be future developments in the area, but E-Town is a really nice location. I like the location specifically because they're close to the St. John's Town Center, which is just this is a little bit south of that area. That's a lot of shopping, dining, and that's going to be located maybe up in this area. But you're also not too far from JTB, which is also known as 202. And that kind of gets you east-west in Jacksonville, or at least this main part here. So you can see St. John's Town Center is here, the University of North Florida is here. So you have that as well. And then definitely get in E-Town if you're able to. A really great community. I love the development there. And it also, just so you know, it leads back behind another area, which would be the Bay Meadows area. And that's a very heavily trafficked area, just so you know. And there's a lot of apartments also in this area as well. And then there's some other outside communities outside of the Deer Creek area. Drum roll, please. Coming in at number 1 in Jacksonville as one of the best places to live is going to be the Nocatee area. And really, it's more St. John's, St. Augustine, but just depending on what side of the county line you're in or on, you'll be considered part of Jacksonville. So overall, it is an A+ rated area. There's A public schools, B+ housing, it's A+ good for families, C+ for nightlife, and B for diversity. There's a population of right over 19,000 individuals, and the median home value is right above $400,000. The median rent is over $3,000, and the number of homeowners in the area is at 88%, with the number of renters at 12%. So let's take a look at Nocatee. So there is the Nocatee Preserve that's here, and really with Nocatee, you're going to be coming off of Phillips Highway. So it kind of like, there's a lot, like I mentioned before, there are a lot of businesses along Phillips Highway, and then you'll actually get into this area in the Nocatee area, which covers like Palm Valley Road, Crosswater Parkway, and then the Preserve. So just, it's a very family friendly area, and you see County Road 210 also kind of flows into this area as well. But then you're not too far from the beach. So you'll kind of, as you keep driving out, you'll eventually hit A1A, which you can also take south and to go to more like South Ponte Vedra Beach area. But Nocatee is one of the biggest master plan communities here in the Jacksonville area, and it is amazing. I actually do some things out there. I go to Lee Dental Spa out there in the Nocatee area, and I also go to Burn Boot Camp that I recently signed up for. I love that gym. Just so you know, if you're looking for a gym, if you move to the area, I like it because out of all the gyms that I've gone to, from CrossFit to other boot camp gyms, they also have childcare, and that's available during certain times of the day, which is nice, right? And they also just have more frequent classes, and they're about 45 minutes, and they're not as strenuous. But back to this. So there's Davis Park, and there's Ponte Vedra High School, which this area would be zoned for, and then you have part of 20 Mile Road. So there's also the Nocatee Town Center. Though the two places that I go to are in this Nocatee Village area. There's a lot of restaurants, shopping, food. I see a lot of people are riding their golf carts in this area as well, which is nice. You don't always have to drive, but just be careful because of the weather changes. So if it rains on you, I'm sorry. But this is a nice area, and this fee, like that Nocatee Parkway, is typically how I get, which is the 210 road, is usually how I get into this area to attend all those things. But then you have Crosswater Parkway with just a bunch of different neighborhoods, and I even used one of the amenities for a Galentine's event in this area this year in 2023. So this is the Nocatee area. So let's jump into the homes for sale in this area. So you can definitely see there's a range of home values starting in the mid 400s, and it's a 3-2, and it's 1,300 square feet. And then we have homes almost $2 million in this area. So it really just depends on obviously the builder that you've built with, because most of these homes were just being built. Some things to also take note for this area is there's going to be CDD fees associated with your home and your property taxes. So the CDD fees are basically added on to your taxes, so they're paid in arrears, and the taxes are due in November. So that CDD fee will be on your property taxes for life, or basically 30 years. But then there is a maintenance fee that's still associated after the 30 years. So that's what I was getting ready to say, for life. So just so you know, wide range of homes. They're still building in this area, but they have a super big, nature trails. They have multiple splash parks and pools and just amenities available. It's supposed to be, one of the best, family friendly areas, just according to other people that I know that live in the area, and they love it. But you just want to be mindful what home or builder that you go with, if you go new or resale, because they have, some of the homes are like shotgun style. Some of them are just traditional single family homes, so you can see like they're building still here in the area. And then again, also being mindful of what part of the area you're living in, because there's a cutoff for like Duval County and then St. Johns County. But I feel like part of St. Johns is also part of Jacksonville. So you can see that they have like townhomes and just a range of properties in this area for price, and these are brand new. And then let's take a look up here. 1.15 million for this area, and there's 2. So you can see what those look like, right under 600. So this is definitely like a way different area, but one of the nicest areas that I would, I wouldn't mind living here, because it's just family friendly. There's activities, like I said, amenity centers, nature trails, all of that. You have the golf club as well, and it's still growing. Like even just the town center area for Nocatee is still growing. So still room for opportunity and to get in. But I remember when prices were not this high. I would say they were probably like in the 3s or 4s, but now you can't even find anything for that price in this area. So let me know in the comments if you were surprised by the picks for the top 7 here in Jacksonville, Florida, according to niche.com. If you're planning to relocate here to Jacksonville, Florida, feel free to call, text, or email me, and better yet, sign up for a free in-person Zoom meeting with me. All of my information will be listed in the description below. Again, my name is Yasha. I'm your favorite Jacksonville, Florida realtor. Bye.